If you've been following the Ravens as closely as we have, you know there's never a dull moment when it comes to this team. And this past season has been no exception. There's been plenty of speculation, rumors, and opinions flying around about the relationships within the organization, especially between key figures like Lamar Jackson and the coaching staff. But what really stood out recently was an interview with Todd Monken, the team's offensive coordinator, where he spoke candidly about his time with the Ravens, the challenges of the season, and the dynamics between him and both the players and coaching staff. It was refreshing to hear someone in that role speak so openly, cutting through the usual PR language and giving a genuine perspective on what it's like behind the scenes in the NFL. Monken didn't shy away from admitting that things could have gone better, and that honesty is what makes the interview so compelling. He acknowledged that while the relationships were generally strong, there were moments where communication could have been improved, and where he could have done more to support players like Lamar Jackson. At the same time, it was clear that any rumors about tension or animosity were greatly exaggerated. Monken was firm in emphasizing that he never witnessed a poor relationship between John Harbaugh and the players. And both his words and the statements from Lamar Jackson's camp reinforced that the team culture remained positive. It was less about conflict and more about accountability, self-reflection, and the drive to improve. Listening to Monken, it was striking how much responsibility he took for the team's performance. He openly said, "I didn't coach Lamar well enough. I didn't have as good of a relationship as I could have. I didn't do the things we needed this year to win enough games." Statements like these highlight a rare level of transparency in a coaching staff, especially for someone still active in the league, rather than shifting blame or making excuses. Monken accepted that outcomes are a shared responsibility, and that leadership means owning mistakes as much as celebrating successes. This perspective resonated not just with fans, but with anyone who has followed the inner workings of the NFL and understands the pressures and complexities of coordinating an offense at this level. Part of what makes Monken's approach unique is the balance between accountability and support. He repeatedly acknowledged the efforts of his players, particularly Lamar Jackson, while recognizing the role injuries and other uncontrollable factors played during the season. Even with 41 touchdown passes and only 4 interceptions, Monken expressed a sense of responsibility, showing how high his standards are for coaching and preparation. It's clear that for him, success isn't just measured by stats or wins, but by relationships, trust, and the ability to cultivate an environment where players can thrive. In the interview, he also gave credit to the rookies and other teammates who embraced accountability, demonstrating a culture of personal responsibility across the team. Another key takeaway from the interview is how Monken navigated the broader transitions in the organization. With the firing of John Harbaugh, the coaching staff faced a major shakeup, and Monken's reflections underscore the reality that these changes are never simple. When a head coach departs, it often triggers a domino effect, and Monken's role as offensive coordinator became a focal point in discussions about continuity and team stability. Despite this, he maintained a clear sense of gratitude for his time in Baltimore, expressing appreciation for the fans, the players, and the experience of working alongside Lamar Jackson. His outlook was never bitter. It was reflective, professional, and forward-looking, highlighting his resilience and dedication to the sport. The interview also showcased the importance of perspective when evaluating rumors and media narratives. Monken and Jackson's camps both refuted claims of strained relationships, which serves as a reminder that not everything reported externally reflects the reality within the team. In a league where headlines are often designed to provoke and attention-grabbing stories dominate the conversation, Monken's words offer clarity and nuance. It's a powerful example of how direct communication from those involved can counter misinformation and provide fans with a more accurate understanding of the dynamics at play. Monken's candidness also sheds light on his philosophy as a coach. He emphasized that accountability doesn't end with himself. It's a standard he expects from players and colleagues alike. By consistently taking responsibility, he set a tone that encourages others to do the same, creating a culture where performance and personal growth are intertwined. For fans, it's inspiring to see someone so willing to step into the spotlight and reflect openly on both successes and shortcomings. Monken's transparency is especially notable because it comes at a time when coaching positions are under intense scrutiny and public honesty can be risky. Yet his approach demonstrates that leadership rooted in integrity and accountability can foster respect and admiration both inside and outside the organization. Throughout the conversation, Monken's respect for Lamar Jackson stood out as well. He recognized the challenges Lamar faced, including injuries that affected his ability to execute plays. And he framed those challenges as shared responsibilities rather than points of blame. This reinforces the narrative that the Ravens' internal relationships were professional and collaborative, not adversarial. Monken's reflections also highlighted the balance between individual performance and team dynamics, showing that leadership in football is as much about guiding people as it is about designing plays or calling games. In summary, the interview with Todd Monken offered an insightful glimpse into the realities of coaching at the highest level. It was a reminder that the stories fans often hear are filtered through multiple lenses, and the truth is frequently more nuanced than headlines suggest. Monken's focus on accountability, professionalism, and collaboration not only underscores his capabilities as a coach, but also reinforces the values that contribute to a successful team environment. His willingness to speak openly about challenges, successes, and lessons learned provides a compelling narrative that goes beyond wins and losses, giving fans a richer understanding of the Ravens' journey and the people who helped drive it forward. Continuing from Monken's reflections, it's clear that his impact on the Ravens' offense extended far beyond X's and O's. When he arrived, the team was coming off a stagnant period, and there were plenty of questions about how Lamar Jackson would be able to evolve without Greg Roman's strict system. Monken approached the offense differently, giving Lamar the freedom to make decisions, extend plays, and experiment with his skill set. That empowerment transformed the quarterback's game, allowing Jackson to demonstrate his full potential. It wasn't perfect, and there were moments where play calls or personnel usage raised eyebrows. But the overall trajectory of the offense under Monken's guidance was unquestionably upward, and the results on the field reflected that growth. Monken's emphasis on adaptability was another standout aspect of his approach. He tailored the offense to fit the personnel available, accounting for injuries, rookies, and veteran players alike, by adjusting schemes and responsibilities to maximize strengths and minimize weaknesses. He ensured that the team remained competitive even in challenging situations. His ability to adapt demonstrated not just strategic skill, but also a deep understanding of how people perform under pressure. It's one thing to call plays, but it's another to mold a system around the individuals executing it, and Monken clearly excelled at the latter. That's why many see him as one of the most capable offensive coordinators in the Ravens' recent history. What makes Monken's tenure even more impressive is the consistency of his professionalism. Despite external speculation, personnel changes, and the eventual firing of John Harbaugh, Monken maintained focus and composure. He didn't publicly air grievances, and he consistently centered his communication on accountability and improvement. His approach to leadership illustrates a rare maturity in coaching, one that emphasizes responsibility, transparency, and personal growth over deflection or blame. By modeling these values, Monken created a culture where players could take risks, learn from mistakes, and develop as professionals. And that culture will likely have long-term benefits for the organization. The interview also highlighted Monken's reflections on the NFL as a whole. He touched on the pressures of coaching, the scrutiny that comes with high-profile positions, and the way internal dynamics can be misrepresented in the media. By providing a candid window into his thought process, he reminded fans that football is a deeply human game, filled with nuanced relationships and countless decisions that don't always make the headlines. Monken's perspective encourages a more thoughtful understanding of the game, reminding viewers that success and failure are rarely the result of a single individual, but rather the interplay of talent, strategy, leadership, and circumstance. Even with all the challenges, Monken's respect for the Ravens organization and its fanbase remained evident. He expressed gratitude for the opportunity to coach at a high level, work with talented teammates, and contribute to Lamar Jackson's development. This sense of appreciation, paired with his competitive drive, illustrates a coach who balances ambition with humility. He acknowledges his mistakes, celebrates the achievements of those around him, and approaches each opportunity with a mindset of learning and growth. That duality, competitive fire and professional humility, is what makes Monken such a compelling figure. And it's why his words resonated so strongly with both fans and colleagues alike. A critical point Monken emphasized was the importance of context when evaluating performance. He referenced injuries that affected Jackson and other players, and how those circumstances influenced outcomes. By acknowledging these realities, he painted a more accurate picture of the season's challenges and successes. It's easy to look at statistics, or final scores and draw conclusions. But Monken reminded viewers that football is dynamic and that context matters. Recognizing this complexity as part of what makes him a thoughtful and respected coach. Someone who prioritizes understanding over simplification and growth over blame. Monken's accountability extended beyond self-reflection. He also set a standard for players to emulate. By taking responsibility for what went wrong, he created a culture where honesty and integrity were expected, and where individuals were encouraged to own both successes and setbacks. This approach is particularly valuable in the NFL, where finger-pointing is common and ego can dominate discussions. Monken's emphasis on collective responsibility, paired with individual ownership, helps maintain team cohesion and builds a foundation for long-term success. It also highlights the role of leadership in shaping organizational culture, illustrating that strong leaders influence not just outcomes, but also behavior and mindset. Looking forward, Monken's future in the league appears bright. His performance with the Ravens positions him as a top candidate for head coaching or offensive coordinator roles elsewhere. The experience he gained, both in managing a talented roster and navigating the complexities of a high-profile team, equips him with the skills to excel in new environments. His philosophy of empowerment, accountability, and adaptability will undoubtedly serve him well in future endeavors. Fans and analysts alike will be watching closely to see where he lands next, and it's clear that wherever he goes, he will bring a winning combination of strategic acumen and professional integrity. Finally, the Monken interview offers a larger lesson about perception in sports. Media narratives often oversimplify relationships, attribute conflict where none exists, or focus on sensationalism rather than substance. By speaking openly and honestly, Monken challenged these narratives and offered fans a deeper, more nuanced understanding of what happens behind the scenes. His words remind us that football, at its core, is about people, about communication, trust, and shared effort. Success is never the result of a single player or coach, but the product of a team that respects, supports, and holds each other accountable. Monken's candid reflections provide insight not only into the Ravens season, but also into the principles that underpin success in the NFL more broadly. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. Whispers are swirling through Baltimore as speculation heats up about a potential seismic shift in the Ravens' defensive line. Sources close to the organization suggest that MAXX CROSBY, one of the league's most relentless pass rushers, could be suiting up for the purple and black in a move that would send shockwaves through the AFC. The mere thought of Crosby lining up alongside Calais Campbell and Justin Houston has fans and pundits alike imagining a defense capable of terrorizing quarterbacks across the conference. Crosby's reputation precedes him, a player known for his ability to collapse pockets with surgical precision, forcing hurried throws and game-changing turnovers. If the rumors hold any weight, his arrival in Baltimore would not just fill a hole in the roster, it would redefine the Ravens' defensive identity. Analysts are already speculating on the strategic possibilities, from heavier blitz packages to more aggressive edge containment, imagining a unit that could become nearly impossible to navigate for opposing offenses. The timing of this potential acquisition adds another layer to the chatter. With the Ravens eyeing a deep postseason run, the idea of bringing in a proven, high-impact defender at the line of scrimmage seems almost too perfect. Insiders suggest that the front office has been quietly exploring ways to bolster the pass rush without disrupting the locker room chemistry that has made Baltimore a perennial contender. Crosby, with his fiery intensity and veteran savvy, could be the missing piece that elevates a strong defense into a truly elite force. Of course, all of this is still speculation, and NFL trade whispers rarely reach fruition without careful negotiation. Yet, the excitement surrounding the possibility of Crosby donning the Ravens jersey is palpable. Fans are already imagining stadium chants erupting every time he crashes the quarterback, visualizing highlight reels of unstoppable sacks and game-altering plays. If the move does happen, it could instantly send a message across the league. Baltimore is not just participating in the playoff race, they intend to dominate it. For now, though, the city waits, tense and eager, as the rumor mill keeps spinning, wondering if MAXX Crosby's edge-ripping presence is about to become Baltimore's secret weapon. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.